Cześć, witajcie na kanale Ptasiek gra. Ja jestem Ptasiek. Przed wami gra Remains of Edith Finch. Krótka, fabularna, trochę zwariowana gierka, w którą sobie zagramy w oczekiwaniu na premierę gry The Last of Us Part 1. Początek gry. Płyniemy sobie na jakimś statku. Ładne widoczki. Plecak, plakaty.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Okej. Biegania nie mamy, mamy tylko przybliżanie widoku.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
No, konstrukcja tego domu jest cokolwiek ciekawa.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Rachunki sprzed 7 lat. Gazet zabrać nie mogę, ale fajna skrzynka.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Od pogrzebu brata Louisa. Jeszcze nikogo nie poznaliśmy, a już wiemy, że ktoś nie żyje. Obiekt monitorowany.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Tędy czy tędy? Idę główną ulicą.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Przejdę? Przeszedłem. A w zasadzie przeszłam. Lelonek. Nie chcę go wystraszyć. Cześć. A jednak. Czy ja mogę pójść za nim? Zapewne tam nie wejdę.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it.
Co się jedno wydarzyło? Znowu
But now I have
jakieś...
questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Jakieś... morderstwo? Coś? Tam jakiś krokodyl.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Jak już mówiłem, dość oryginalna konstrukcja. Rzekłbym wręcz, że samowola budowlana. Missing. Milton Finch.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Wcale ci się nie dziwię. Wygląda dość... no trochę straszno. Kim był ten Milton? Na razie dowiedzieliśmy się, że jakiś Louis umarł.
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband. I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me even then.
Dużo bohaterów, mało informacji.
As a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Zakładam, że od ganku nie wejdziemy. To byłoby zbyt proste.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Czemu nie jestem zdziwiony? Garaż? No. To jest jakaś huśtawka.
The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother.
Do tych drzwi? O nie. Żebym zaraz tu w łeb nie dostał.
The doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. The power had been turned off the night we left.
Jakiś lód został. Pewnie lody ekipy. Czego te sznureczki? Ale ja się tam nie dostanę, żeby to sprawdzić.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
Dużo książek i dużo wina. Pęka mikrofalowa.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Eddie, Edith, Dawn i Louis. Cóż to za dźwięki? In loving memory, Louis Finch. Ile Louis miał lat? 22. Brat. Wiatr tak gra.
Like how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
No, faktycznie. Tuńczyka nie żałuj.
Or how only one restaurant would deliver to our house. So we had Chinese a lot.
Patrząc po tych pozostałościach, wygląda to, jakby się wyprowadzali na szybko z jakiegoś powodu. Ale fajna kuchnia.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Eddie. To była ta babcia chyba.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Ale mieszkali w ładnej okolicy. Jakiś pomnik.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Dom, który zatonął. Tutaj już nic więcej ciekawego nie widzę.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Barbara.
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Jak drugi raz spróbuję, będzie to samo? Czy coś wyskoczy spod spodu? Barbara. Barbara była aktorką? Reżyserką? Ktoś tu grał na skrzypcach? Tu wracamy do kuchni. Ale chciałem zobaczyć, czy ma tu jakieś interaktywnej rzeczy. Listopad 2010.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Czyli wiemy, że Milton zaginął.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Ło! A co tutaj trzymali?
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Chowany jest gdzieś w bibliotece. Coraz bardziej creepy się tu robi. I te drzwi pianką montażową. No dobra, na górę. To pewnie dla Eddie było to krzesełko.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Wcale się nie dziwię, też bym się tutaj bawił. Przez firankę nie zajrzymy, ale tutaj coś
Lewis told
mamy.
me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Czy to klucz do tego?
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
200 mil podwodnej żeglugi?
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
O kurde. No dobra, chodźmy. Jakiś tajny
From the
pokoik?
paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Jakiś tajny pokoik zabaw.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
Pokój Molly.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Ale fajny. Jest Baby Shark.
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Molly. Czemu tam nie mogę wejść? Ale fajny pomysł, przechodziło się przez szafę. Pamiętnik.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Jedzenie myszoskoczka.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
Jak to tak może być? Cukierki halloweenowe zniknęły. O, teraz tu możemy wejść.
I kept eating and eating.
Pasta do zębów.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Jemioła. Jakiegoś ptaka słyszę.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
No nie. Rybki nie jemy.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest.
Dymówka. Wracająca do gniazda.
I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
Okej.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Ale się nie dziwię. Którędy ja tam mam przeskoczyć? Nie tędy. Jest jakiś pokój. O, kot ma dzwoneczek.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Wyglądają, jakby się kłócili. Gdzie ptaszek? Tam zejść nie mogę. Zgubiłem ptaszka. A tutaj jesteś. Dzień dobry.
I jumped and I almost got her.
Jaki wściekły kot.
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
Dobra, idziemy zjeść ptaszka. Nie wiem, czy mnie się podoba pomysł jedzenia ptaszka.
I gobbled her up, and suddenly I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Nie wiem, kto dzieci paszeruje narkotykami, ale ta historia jest cokolwiek dziwna.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
No to szukamy.
A mama rabbit.
Ulicza mama. O, niedobrze.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Rekin na drzewie. Okej. Jakoś muszę stąd wyjść. Ale ja się nie ruszam. Chociaż może trochę. No, w sumie ciężko by było, gdyby rekiny zapieprzały po lądzie.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat,
Oka.
juicy seals.
Zgubiła mi się. Ciężko się steruje tym rekinem.
I tore off her flipper and it tasted really good. Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Jakim zwierzęciem jesteśmy teraz? Wężem.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
To jakiś kościół?
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Mniam. Co to za miejsce? To trochę jak statek wygląda. Nom nom nom. Zawracamy. O, tam ktoś jeszcze jest. No, faktycznie musiała być głodna.
Passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Czym jestem teraz? Wężem. No dobra.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Do starej rury. Wyobraźnia dzieci jest niesamowita.
I got closer and closer.
Nimoli. Wróciłem.
All my stomach started growling,
Jak wszystkie. To ile ja mam tych brzuchów?
and suddenly I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep, but it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Będę pyszna.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Okej. Poznaliśmy Molly. Barbara, Calvin, Sam, Eddie, Odin, Ingeborg, Walter, Kai, Gregory, Gus, Dawn, Sanjay, Louis, Milton i ja, Edith. Kotek. Słyszę kotka. Czy ja już tu mogę wejść? Nie.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
Molly jednak faktycznie była kotem. No dobra. Ten pokój już znamy.
I spent a lot of time in Great Grandma Edie's room.
Pokój babci Eddie.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
Molly, Barbara.
Her room was like a museum.
O tym samym sobie pomyślałem.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
Okej. Dom, który zatonął.
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
O jego szczęścia oraz pecha. No dobra.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
A więc tak poznaliśmy Ingeborga. Sven, Eddie. Ja się tu po tym pokoju jeszcze chcę rozejrzeć.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
No tak, no ale faktycznie jest. Smok zabił Fincha. Wybudowany w 1973 roku.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Edith Lake.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
O, jeszcze tu coś mamy. Nie widzę. Ale te zdjęcia papużek i świeczki. No. W moim domu też by się kilka takich znalazło. Papuzich trumienek. Są jakieś drzwi.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Nawet w latach 90.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Różowa
It was
łazienka.
a pretty big trace.
No. Te futerka w ubikacji to naprawdę nie jest dobry pomysł. Jest sekret w tej łazience.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard.
Jak ja lubiłem takie książeczki.
It's hidden in this book.
O, panie.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Tutaj też Milton był przede mną. Port Calvin. Port Sam. Bracia, bliźnięta, bliźniaki. Tu nic więcej nie
I
mamy.
knew Grandpa Sam had a twin.
Dziadek sam miał brata bliźniaka. No tak.
And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Jakie centrum lotnicze.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
O, chyba się mamy huśtać.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did.
Zje kolejnego grzyba.
At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Widać, że łobuz po tej złamanej nodze.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that, maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Ło!
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Chyba każdy próbował obrócić huśtawkę i próbował latać. Myślałem, że tu coś możemy uruchomić.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Przez te drzwi pewnie. A to są te drzwi zaklejone taśmą. Dwóch bohaterów, Sam i Calvin. Ciekawa mechanika jest w tej grze. I ten dom coraz bardziej mi się wydaje ciekawy.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
A. Skrytka z winem. Gdzie ja chcę iść?
Growing up,
Barbara Finch.
I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Czyli była aktorką. Nawet dostała 2 Oscary. Albo coś Oscaropodobnego.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Dreadful
All the
Stories.
stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Stary Jack.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale. inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch.
Zaskakujący kres Barbary Finch.
As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up, a has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
Okej.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Mogę się poruszać w komiksie. Prawie jak teledysk Aha.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Częściowo pożar członków swojej rodziny.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
No dobra. Idziemy na górę. halloweenowy wystrój. To chyba nie tutaj, a tu jest.
Walter, are you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand.
Chwycamy
Residents are
z
urged to
dłoni.
lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And who he was, he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Przez okno.
She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Idziemy dobić chłopa. Czemu nie jestem zdziwiony, że już go nie ma?
Vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Pizza? Chińszczyzna, oni tu chińszczyznę zamawiali.
Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Ale moi drodzy, na dzisiaj myślę, że wystarczy poznawania historii rodziny Finchów. Jeżeli chcecie dowiedzieć się, co było dalej, zapraszam na następny odcinek. Na dzisiaj to tyle. Dziękuję Wam bardzo za oglądanie. Zostawcie łapkę w górę, zostawcie subka i wbijajcie na live'y. Trzymajcie się. Cześć.